it's Matchday. Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of It's All Black and White. It's Salford, 12:30 kickoff. So a bit of an earlier start today, but not the longest drive to Salford. Just waiting to be picked up. It is a massive game. I know we haven't lost points last weekend, but we haven't gained any either. And so while teams have pulled away from us a little bit, we have to go and win our game in hand if we want to make that count. So it's going to be very interesting. Salford are a decent side. And I think it's going to be really tough. Dan Crowley is back in contention. If he starts, that's fantastic. If he's not fit enough to start and will come off the bench due to match sharpness, again, what a fantastic option to have coming off the bench. Really hoping for 3 points today. Let's see what happens. About 15 minutes away from Salford now as we go to park up. The weather can't seem to make its mind up. It's raining, but then it looks bright ahead. So I don't know. Weather conditions are a lot better than last week, obviously, when it was postponed against Colchester. So team news will be out in about 45 minutes. Be interesting to see who starts. I am going to go for the same as I went on Thursday. I've not changed my mind. I'm going 2-1 NOTTS. I think we're going to see goals from Jatta and Didsey today. Parked up and arrived in Salford just before team news does come out. I'm going to plug again that George Abbott interview we did on Wednesday night. Really enjoyed having him on. Great insight. Hopefully he starts in that midfield today because he's absolutely class. So the link will be in the description to that. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Let us know what you think. Gives us a bit of insight into playing against Bayern Munich. Chats to us about what he expected from League Two, and the standard of football is not what he expected, to say the least. Talks to us about his relationship with Stuart Maynard and the atmosphere around the squad. So yeah, really good interview. One of our favourites we've done on the channel. So check that out in the description, and I'll check back in when it is team news time. Team news is out, and Crowley starts, which is really great. I said at the start of the video, if he was going to come off the bench, it would have been a fantastic impact sub, but it's obviously better to have Dan Crowley starting. Another bit of creativity in there, and I think we've struggled with that. Someone that can maybe go from distance as well. So team's looking really strong. Macari dropped for Ness. We heard on the Paper's Perspective on Thursday from Danny, the Salford fan, that they've got a very physical striker. And I did actually say he maybe will go and play on Lewis Macari. So whether that's been factored into it as well, it'll be a good battle between him and Matty Platt if he's playing for Salford. Gordon is nowhere to be seen, unless I've misread that team news. He is nowhere to be seen. He's on the bench, and it looks like Sam Austin playing wing back, where he had an absolutely brilliant performance last season on that Friday night game at wing back. Probably maybe one of his best performances in a NOTTS shirt. It's a strong team. Yet to look online at what the Salford fans are saying about their lineup, but it's definitely more promising than it has been. Abbott in there, Palmer in there. It just feels stronger. Bench is starting, I will say, to bulk up a little bit. We've got Grant coming back, we've got Edwards coming back at some point, and then obviously the return of Jody in January. So as I've said, points are absolutely vital today, and not even 1 point. For me, it has to be 3. Not until kick-off. I've just seen the bench again. I've just mentioned it was getting stronger. I've just realised that no Robbo again and no Scott. I hope it's not another injury for Robbo, especially just because, he was warming up against Walsall and now he's not here. Yeah. We just can't seem to get a break in that sense, but starting 11 is still very strong. So kick-off is literally 5 minutes away. Coming up 10 minutes in there, no one's really got hold of the game. If anyone's keeping the ball better, it's probably Salford. But it's just been very much in the middle of the pitch. We've got a couple of balls over the top to try and get Sarulu in and Jatta, but nothing's really happened. I'm watching now, Nets has flicked it forward, and again, it's not a good enough pass. The football is being played very much in the centre of the pitch. And Dan Crowley has nicked it. Go on then. Played it through to Jatta. Oh, good save, I think, from their goalkeeper. First chance for anyone, and it's for just before the 10th minute to Alessandro Jatta. And we recycled possession really nicely. 3 games running now, if you include Peterborough, where Bass has played the ball out into a really poor position. I hope this doesn't start to become a habit, but that is a really poor goal to concede. That is absolutely awful. We're behind as bad as it gets, really, and it's been coming for the first 30 minutes. We've been playing the ball stupidly around our own area, and 3 or 4 times we've nearly been caught out, and we finally get caught out. And not a true pass passed it out to maybe Crowley, but it's a hospital pass. And now we've got it all to do. We've got to score 2 goals to pick up 3 points. and we've not. Oh, disaster start. Just under half an hour. This is really, really awful from NOTTS. I spent the last 15-20 minutes watching a Salford training session. Players can't pass. Jata can't hold anything up. We're giving the ball away at will. Although Abbott's just picked up a lovely ball from Platt. It's finally caught them out. Go on. We need something badly. Can't make anything of it. 0-0. It's really, really bad first half so far. (2-0). I think it's Stockton. No one looks bothered. No one's running. No one's tracking runners. This is poor. This is really, really poor. These will go 1 point behind us with a win. What's the likelihood of us winning now? And it's 2-0 down. Very slim. Could happen. Things happen in football. We don't look bothered. We've not really had an effort. Players look poor. This is a bit eye-opening, I'll be honest. We're being turned over by Salford here, who are currently, I'm not saying they will be, currently on a mid-table side. Half an hour in and I've seen nothing, absolutely nothing to be positive for from a NOTTS perspective. 800 or so, 900 fans that have travelled are being treated to an absolute disaster class so far. I'll be honest, this currently isn't going to help the situation with Stuart Maynard, where fans are getting on his back. Yeah, we'll see how it is at 90. I'll give my thoughts then, but I'm just watching a long ball go to Didsey that he's lost again, and they are first at every single second ball. Defensively have been poor, and Salford are playing head tennis around us. Shocking. Salford have a chance to make it 3. This is really poor. We need to get to half time at 2-0 and then try and regroup. We've got to stop trying to walk it in. Sam Austin had an excellent opportunity just to hit it. He tried to pass it to Crowley, who then took 50 touches to try and put it in. No one can pass. We just look absolutely terrible. Half time cannot come soon enough. Corner from NOTTS to end the first half. Let's get something. And a couple of nice passes to play in the last few minutes. Doesn't even be the first man. Winter, the second minute or 3 minutes of added time. We've still got the ball. Come on, Dan Crowley, let's do something. Oh my gosh, all the way back to Alice Bash. You can hear what the fans think of that. And we're going to go long. A long ball has gone to Matty Platt, and if it was left, Austin would have been through. Refs just stopped the game for a head injury. Half-time thoughts are going to be pretty negative. Well, you got some Christmas music in the background to make it feel a bit more festive. Alex Bass, don't know what's happened to him in the last 3 games. Yes, some incredible saves against Peterborough, but I've got to say, a lot of those saves were the things of his own making. Poor against Walsall, poor again today. Platt is not the same player today that he has been. Dan Crowley, well, understandably, he's not been involved much. He's trying to make things happen. Jata's first touch, absolutely horrendous. I don't think Bedou's played particularly well. Sam Austin's running but should have had a shot. Decided not to. Passed it to Crowley and it faded out. Ceruda's beat his man twice. Decided to go backwards. Didsey not really effective. I could go on and on and on. It's been really, really poor. Second half needs to be massively improved. If we're not, I'm going to say, if we're not to get anything out of this, if we're not to get absolutely hammered. Salford have looked good, but very, very comfortable. Very disappointed. Worst half of the season? Maybe. NOTTS have a corner after Salford instantly. Salford won the Salford corner and nearly scored. Just 3 headed in the box, but didn't go in, so it doesn't matter. So NOTTS corner. Swing it in. Didsey over everyone. George Abbott, keep it in. Does really well. Come on, George. Lovely ball in. Sam Austin. Someone have a go. To Jata. And I think they're going to clear the lines, maybe. Jata works it back in, and it's a man chested down in the box by the central defender. Back out to Crowley, who's on the halfway line. Come on, NOTTS. Sam Austin is free. He's held the ball for so long. They've got everyone back. Have a shot, 30 yards, 50. Just gone wide. It's a bit better. No mistake, we're coming up to 70 minutes. This is shameful. This is absolutely terrible. My player ratings are going to be comfortably lowest you've probably seen in maybe, I don't know, 3-4 seasons. It's just awful. Someone's coming on for NOTTS. Looks like it might be Hinchy at this point. It's probably just resting players like Abbott. Well, there's no, right now there's no point. Things can happen in football, but what's the chances of us getting anything in this? Even a goal at the minute we don't look like. Shocking. I'm just, again, I reiterate, I'm just watching a Salford training session. When they're about to get a fourth here, I think. They are passing it around and doing step overs, and their fans are cheering every time they make a pass.
Despite the manager saying it's really to go, it's not really.
Back in the car, it's finished Salford 3, NOTTS 0. That was really, really poor, and probably as bad as it's been since we've been in the Football League after our return from the National League. I've not done this before, but I'm going to rate every single player the same. I'm going to give every single player a 2 out of 10, and that might be generous. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it generous? Is it not? No player looked bothered. No player looked like they had energy. No player had any quality. And when I say no player, you usually get a couple of standouts. It's actually no player. No player has any quality at all in today's game. They never got out of second gear. They're a good side. We said they were a good side. Not a great side, but we said they were a good side, and they just breezed past us. They looked more athletic, more energetic, had more ideas, didn't have one plan. We made horrendous errors. From start to finish, it was poor. Your usual suspects who were good. Matty Platt, I thought, was just bang average. Jacob Bedu, bang average and frustrated at the end and, you know, kicking out at players. Alex Bass, third game in a row now, really poor. If you go in all competitions, he's conceded 10. Some great saves, yes, in the Peterborough game, but a lot of them were his fault. Passing out and having to make a save to help us out. Today was really bad from him. The issues persist with passing out from the back. I've seen a 40 second clip online of the first goal, and even before the first goal, we nearly lose the ball. I said it before on the channel, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and we seem to be doing the same thing over again. It's starting to get like last season. This brilliant defence that Stuart Maynard's built has now conceded 10 goals in the last 3 in all competitions and 6 goals in the last 2 games, both away from home. We are falling back into the same patterns of last season, except what set us apart from last year's, although we weren't scoring as many, we weren't conceding anywhere near as many. Now we're conceding as many as last season, and we're starting to fall away. And could, by the end of today, this is being filmed just before 3 o'clock, or let's have a look, just after 3 o'clock, we're falling away. Teams are starting to pick up points around us, and who knows where we'll be at 4:45. So yeah, very, very disappointing. I came into it optimistic today. I'm a very optimistic fan, as if you watch the channel you'll probably know, but there's nothing to be positive about today at all. No one shone, and it all falls on 2 things. Yes, the players didn't perform today. The basic errors that people were making, and professional players should think, well, I'm being told to pass it out from the back. If I can't pass it out from the back, then I'm going to go long, but they've continued to do it. As a professional player, you should know when the right time to, step out of the comfort zone or whatever you've been taught. Just don't do it. Just get it long, because it's better than conceding the goal. And deal with maybe being told by a management team that you shouldn't have done that later on. It's not the right time to pass the ball, for example, to Dan Crowley. You bring a player like Dan Crowley back in the side, you think, right, instantly makes us a better side, because we've missed creativity, we've missed goal-scoring chances, creating chances, we've made less today. I'm not saying this is Dan Crowley's fault. It's made Didsy less effective. I don't think it helps Palmer. It's definitely not helped Abbott. Abbott's gone further forward after playing so well where he was, and Dan Crowley's now picking the ball up from defenders again. That can't happen. That shouldn't be happening. And I continue to say, and I don't know what people think, you cannot play Dan Crowley and Palmer together. Well, you can't play them in this system together, whatever this system is. We're slow, we're laboured. Cerula wasn't as good as he normally is. Sam Austin's filling in at fullback or wing back. It says a lot when you've got a central midfielder
playing at wing back, and you know the substitute player that's come on for in that position is Josh Martin, who's not fancied, and then the option after that is a youth player that's made one appearance this season in the league. And then our actual wing back we signed as a replacement for Aaron Mann is not even on the bench. No Robertson on the bench. If there's an injury there again, I mean, you can't be reliant on him. No Scott. The bench, I said at the start of the video, looked a bit stronger. Then I had a real good look at it. It's a lot weaker. Lucas Ness came in from Macquarie, didn't really do much. I just think on the whole we were exceptionally poor. I think the style has to change. You see from the top down in the Premier League, Football League, teams are now starting to go away from passing around from the back because it's an easy way to work out. We have no plan B. When we get the ball back, we're so laboured. I've gone a long time saying that injuries have not helped, and I've given Maynard the benefit of the doubt. But the next 3 games, Bradford at home, MK Dons away, good job we didn't play those today. Would have been horrendous, would have been 10-0. Cheltenham away, these are massive games, not only for the context of our season, but I think for Maynard. And I'm not Maynard out yet, as I keep saying, but today was eye-opening for me because I thought we were better than that, and we're putting an awful performance. I've not heard his post-match yet, and when I do hear his post-match, I don't want to hear excuses about anything. Today, you just got to stand up and say we weren't good enough, we got it wrong. Came over to clap the fans at the end. That's now turning into boos and a bit of words shouted at him and a bit of abuse shouted at him from some sections of the fans. Today you've got a right to be angry. Really, really poor. And I just think you're very close. We have a really bad Christmas period and New Year's Day. Walsall come to us again, currently top of the league, could be 14 points ahead of us by the end of this. And you could be, that could be the top 3 you wave goodbye to. You could be coming up to 8 or 9 points adrift of even playoffs, and the season could be falling away. They could look back at this in 3 months and think, oh, how wrong was I? But based on today's performance, the way things are going, our downward trajectory, our great defence that's now conceding goals, and our lack of any attempt to score, it's worrying. I mean, you even look at the goals we scored against Walsall. One from the edge of the box when Fine decided to shoot, and a penalty. Newport we couldn't score. Here we couldn't score. Never looked like scoring. So it's worrying. I'll give my honest opinion, as I always do. I am optimistic, but today there's no cause for optimism. If you did go to the game, I'm sorry that you went to that. If you did watch it, I'm sorry you watched it. If you listened, I'm sorry you listened, because what a waste of everyone's time today. But let me know, is 2s all round harsh? Is it actually, is that a high score for the players? Let me know. Leave a like. Do subscribe to the channel. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting show on Thursday.